and gentlemen, welcome back to another SLG Meetup. Your host Alvaro to bring you another successful and interesting guest. This time we're flying all the way to Beverly Hills, California to meet with our friend Kirby Gillon. She's actually one of the most successful real estate brokers in the country. She's part of the Aaron Kirman group, which is killing it when it comes to luxury real estate in California. She's been named by the Wall Street Journal a Real Trends Thousands, which is one of the top 1% of agents in the nation. And also, she's been listed one of the most expensive properties in Pasadena. So she's gonna tell us all about the different techniques and things that she's done to get to that point, from the mindset, the work, and all the different things. So excited about today, and I hope you enjoy it.
There she is.
What's
happening, Kirby? How are you?
Good. Let me just turn on my volume so I can hear you. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you as well, and thank you so much for joining us.
Well,
such a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, always looking fabulous, also on a Monday, and excited about today because you're definitely one of those individuals that when you look at what you're doing, it's like, wow, how does she do it all? Because you've become this successful professional in real estate, selling some of the most amazing properties, but also you've developed this mindset that is inspirational for so many others. So you're originally from Scotland and moved all the way to Los Angeles to become very successful in such a competitive industry. So tell us a little bit about how did this work?
How did you know I was from Scotland? Did you read about it?
Come on, of course.
So in real estate, I really believe that every day you have to start over. If you focus too much on the deals that you have, you end up with nothing. So every day I'm constantly striving to be a better person and constantly learning. So at the beginning of my career, moving to Los Angeles, I have no family here, no friends, don't come from money, don't have an education. I left school when I was 15. I'm dyslexic. So for me, I basically had to learn from passion, meaning like I had to learn, okay, if I need to pass the real estate exam, I'm actually going to have to study. So I failed the test like 3 times, but I just knew that real estate was like, I just knew this was my destiny. So after passing the real estate exam, I already knew who were all the top dogs in Beverly Hills. I knew exactly how much deals were closing, who they were, even though I didn't have a clue about business, real estate, but there was something that, you know, that gravitated, like, I don't know, it's really hard to explain when it comes to destiny, when you're pulled towards something and you just know it's your path. After getting into, I guess when I passed my test, I went straight into Beverly Hills. I told myself, since I have no contacts, no friends, no family, why would I start selling smaller condos? Let me go straight to the luxury.
Love it.
Of course, I fell on my face because it was very competitive. And it took me about 2 years to even make a check. I don't even know how I survived. What else? I guess every day, I think the reason why I am so successful today and getting to more successful every day is because my mistakes have made me one of the best listing agents, because I know how to go into a room, read a client, how to analyze and execute. And I think that's one of the best things that I did. I learned 2 things: psychology and how to read people, and cold calling. I mastered these 2 things, and this is what made my business flourish, because I don't have friends or family, so I had no other option but to learn how to survive.
Wow. So listen, Kirby, let's stop 1 second because I love it. Everything you said is so powerful and so right on. Now, let's break it down, because for those that are listening or that will watch this later on, you come, as you said, from nothing, coming from Scotland all the way to Beverly Hills, one of the most competitive areas in the whole nation, if not in the world, when it comes to luxury real estate. And you mentioned that initially it was difficult to get into that, but now you're this confident human being that it's thriving. You're listing some of the most expensive homes. How does somebody go through those 2 years without selling nothing and keep on going?
That's true. So for me, it was all about vision and being uncomfortable. So when I'm telling people how to push through, is I literally had a point in my life, and this is how my career changed. So there was a point in my life where I didn't have a car and I had my real estate license, and I was like, how am I going to do real estate? I don't have a car. I don't have any money. How am I supposed to prospect? How am I supposed to get leads? So I got up one day and I literally walked out my house and I walked all the way down to the really posh, fancy neighborhoods. And I started doing these sticky notes because I watched on YouTube, whatever. And then eventually I got a phone call, and this is a swear to God truth. Like, I got a phone call, and then I got a listing, and then I got another listing, and then I got another listing. And I guess one thing came to the next. But at the end of the day, I always had a vision. And my vision was to be number one, and it still is to this day. And I work my ass off like I want no other. Even when I'm getting stuck, even when I'm winning, I feel like I'm losing, which is kind of sad. So every appointment that I get, I analyze it and I get better. If I didn't, like, I'm always trying to, so in real estate, I don't know how you guys do real estate, but in Beverly Hills, you have to sit down in front of the client and give them a presentation, and they're meeting with 10 other agents. So you have like 2 seconds to make an impression and why they should pick you. So once you master that, it's going.
Tell us the secret sauce. What is the Kirby sauce when you go to a listing presentation?
I think just learning how to read people, analyze people, and it's something I've always had as a child. I love people. I'm always asking the right questions, and I guess I've always had that in me, and I guess moving it into real estate actually helped me, because now it's totally changing my business.
Right. I mean, we're in the people's business at the end of the day, so how important it is to read people and ask the right questions, because sometimes we just want to sell ourselves so much that we forget that sometimes we just need to listen first. And you listen based on the questions that you ask.
Well, you know what they say? I don't know if you've read the book by, what's his name, Robert Greene or whatever, The Power. The person who's doing all the talking is the weakest in the room.
Ah, there we go. Sounds good.
Talking too much in a meeting, you're probably not listening, and you're probably not analyzing, and you're probably not handling the right objections.
100%. Now, let me ask you, because you were talking about how you initially were doing these sticky notes everywhere, and you're also very good at cold calling. Are those things that you continuously do because that helped you in the past, or you are evolving, and now with the power of social media, where do you put most of your attention in order to get listings?
I don't do the sticky notes anymore because I don't believe in lying to get it, because now I do my prospecting every single day. I still feel like prospecting is my time to, like, you know, to get as many deals as I can. And I love to prospect. I just believe in every agent should prospect, even if you hate it. I think for me, like, I used to hate cold calling, and I used to hate it. I was so scared. I used to hate it, but I ended up training my mind that I loved it. And then I became really good at it. So it wasn't just something that happened. You know, I told my team, I'm like, guys, I have made a fortune from strangers. Like, you don't even understand. Like, picking up the phone and the amount of people that say, no, no, no. And then you just learn how to master each objection day by day. And of course, not every day is perfect.
No, every no is getting closer to a yes. So 100%. It's about building that consistency and remain resilient, because it's not an easy thing to hear a no after no, but definitely pays off. Now, I want to ask you about social media, right? Because you're also active on it. You've been able to create across all social media channels a strong presence. How important it is to build your personal brand versus your business brand?
So to be honest with you, that is something I'm still working on every day. I just started this new TikTok era, and it's not really based off of real estate, because I think I love real estate, but showing homes is kind of boring on TikTok. We've seen it. So I did my TikTok and I based it off of, like, you know, positive speaking. And so I do Get Ready With Me, and I talk about my life stories. And because there's a lot of stories that we could talk about on how I created miracles. Like, I got this listing on I don't know if you know what Mapleton is. It's one of the biggest streets.
Yeah.
I told myself for a whole year, I want to sell a house on Mapleton. I want to sell a house on Mapleton. And I told myself, and I'll tell my business partner, we're going to sell a house on Mapleton. And there's this house that was on the market for like 6 years, right? And it expired. And I got up that night, and it was, I swear this is the truth. It was 4 a.m. I looked at my phone, and I was like, oh my God. And I waited for like 10 minutes, and then I realized the owner was from Florida. So I picked up my phone and called her before anybody else. We ended up getting the listing, selling it in 30 days, and we represented the buyer. So it became like, but because I listened to my intuition, I knew what was happening in my competition. I knew who she was. I knew I wanted it. And because if I'd waited a few more hours, she had would have got, you know, inundated with calls and other agents, and then we got it, sold it, done.
Wow, I love that. The power of manifestation, the law of attraction. Everything happens twice, first in your mind and then in reality. So you need to put it out there and then follow by action. So 100%, and congratulations. That's a hell of a story.
Yeah, so
now,
sorry, what you were saying about like my TikTok. So that's what my TikTok is. It's about me talking about my experiences in life, how to get better in life, how to become better businesswoman, how to be a better person. And I managed to, you know, this is like my new path. And then also, of course, social media is massive. Even if I'm not picking clients from social media, my clients are watching me. So instead of calling them every day, they see me list all these big properties, and they know what's happening. Even on Facebook, I get it all the time. My older generation of clients are on Facebook. Each social media has a different entity of clients. So you gotta know which one. You know, I can't post TikTok on Instagram because they go crazy.
No, but it's amazing what you said, and it's so true, right? You need to be fully aware of which demographics are in each platform based on the type of clientele that you work on, and build from there. And I think you're doing a great job. Now, let me ask you, if you had to tell to your younger self something, what would it be?
I don't know if I could tell you know, I love how my life is. I love the ups and downs, and I've loved the story. And like I said the other day, there one of my TikToks, I said, if a God had given me too much, I would never be this strong. I would never be a good closer. I would never be able to go in against all these competitive, you know, real estate agents, because what I say, Beverly Hills market, it's like the Olympics. Only one person gets paid. So I had to fail so much for me to win. And I think that's what got me so good, because every experience I pulled back and we'd write it out. We say, okay, how can we get better? Okay, we should ask these type of questions. Okay, how can we get better? And every mistake came into something positive. And I think my experience of all the years that I've done real estate is making me into that special person I am today. So no, I would never go back.
Love it. No, that's great. I love that. It's such a strong statement and so true, right? Because thanks to those struggles, we become who we are today. We can just look forward from here on.
No, you can't. You have to fail. That's just the part.
Right. It's part of the journey. Let me ask you, because we always ask the same question to all of our guests, and I'm very curious to know, what is really the definition of luxury to you?
So this is a tough question for me, because I have clients we have condos from 500,000 and listing up to 87 million. And my brand and my team is luxury. It's about our service. It's about how we represent and how we present. So when you hire us as luxury real estate agents, it's everything. So if you're a $500,000 condo, you get the same service as the $87 million house. So the whole brand in itself. Does that make sense?
100%. Luxury equals high-end service. I mean, this is something that is so profound because it goes beyond anything else. So it's very cool. Now, I really appreciate it.
I want to make a comment on that, because luxury is a brand, but it's also, we're in this business of service. So I'm not going to give my the lower end clients less service because the higher end service. So everybody, to me, it's all about building relationships. If I focus on the relationship and not so much the coins, it will always come back 10 times fold.
Oh, I love it. Great statement. No, very good. Listen, Kirby, I really appreciate everything that you've been sharing with us today, because it's very inspirational, very empowering, and hell of a story. I mean, can't wait to hear more about it, but definitely for those that are watching or listening, follow Kirby. She's amazing. What's the best way for anybody to get to know you better, to reach out? Will it be Instagram?
Instagram, TikTok. You guys can follow me anywhere.
So thank you so much, Kirby. Best of luck, and we'll speak very soon.